Morning, everyone. It's the Plant-Based Morning Show. Welcome to the Wednesday, June 14th edition of said show. I am Matt Frazier, going to be joined by Doug Hay here in just a minute, as soon as he makes himself available on Instagram. I'm in the midst of a digital declutter, 30 days. I'm on day 2. I was calling it a detox all yesterday, and then I realized today, I kept thinking detox wasn't the right word because I had not come across that word in the book that got me to do it, Digital Minimalism. And then I realized it's a declutter, he calls it. And I think the reason is that, sorry, I'm trying to add Doug in here. There I did. He calls it a declutter, Doug, because it's supposed to be permanent. It's not a detox. It's not just like give yourself a little break. This is the beginning of a new thing. And that's what happens with minimalism in general. You do a declutter, and then the point is you keep it decluttered. So it's that. It's more
it's a tidying up.
It is that. It's a lifelong commitment. You start extreme, and then gradually you can reintroduce some things. But it is a life-changing magic of tidying up.
So I like it. Are you thanking the apps and the digital things that you use for their service to you, and then passing it on?
I am. I'm asking if each one sparks joy, and if it doesn't, I pass it on. Thank it. I take a picture of it just for old time's sake. Screenshot it.
Screenshot it. Yeah, like it.
And then I move on.
No, I think that's right. As you were saying detox yesterday, I couldn't put my finger on it, but it also didn't feel quite like the right word because, So that makes sense. I like it. Decluttering.
Yes, a digital declutter. So anyway, that's happening. It's going really well. I did come across a few things yesterday. I guess I'd call them snags, things where I just wasn't prepared to knock this thing out of my life, and then I realized maybe I should. So I'll get into that later in the show, just because we'll talk about that as sort of our main article area again, along with another issue you brought up. So we'll do that in a bit. We do have a fairly lengthy and rich weather report today, so that should be fun. In other news, though, Doug, anything else going on in your life? I ate dinner out on the run yesterday. Not the run, but like with family out. Both kids had soccer sort of things, so we just went out.
I took nothing good in the food front, but on yesterday's run, I took a pretty big wipeout. One of my bigger wipeouts that I've had in quite a long time, and it was just a little bit of a reminder that anything can happen. I was like 15 feet from the finish of the run, kind of pushing a little bit hard to get it done, and tripped on something, went down, got bruises all up and down my arm, and busted up knee, and
man.
So anything it can happen like that. You can change your training can change forever.
Yeah, a sobering reminder of why, in general, things outdoors are not advised. You're even running, right? You're making the wise choice not to cycle. I appreciate that, but
I'm not making that choice. I don't know if I'm not committed to that.
Well, I mean, you were running instead of cycling. So in that moment, you made a choice.
Yesterday, I made that choice. That's right. To run instead of ride.
And do 80% of all falls happen within like a few minutes of home at the end of the run?
Like
people let their guard down.
Like car accidents.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe like this was like classic example of had a really great run, focused run, and then just saw the finish line in sight and took off a little bit hard, and and that was that.
By yourself or with people?
No, I was with somebody else. So
okay.
he got to watch me go down.
Man. All right. Well, you're okay though? Everything's good?
Yeah, I'm all right. I think everything's gonna be fine.
Okay.
I kept bleeding through Band-Aids last night, but other than that,
man.
Yeah.
All right. Good. Well, glad you're okay. All right. People are here. Dale Stevens, Mr. Jeffrey, Jeff Hudnall, Kelly K, and Anne Marie, all here. Good to see everyone. And Jeff Hudnall says we're all his favorite people, which is I think it's very nice.
That's nice. Thanks, Jeff. You're one of my favorite people too.
This is this is a bright spot. This is a good.
Definitely.
As I was reading these books and things, I was a lot of stuff again. Though, the repeated message about social interaction and for health and all this stuff and the importance of that, and for happiness, and this like a lot about like friend groups and coffee shop office hours, set up at a table for an hour every weekend morning or a couple hours. People come stop by. I mean, this is not that different from that. It's not the same, obviously, because we're kind of the only ones talking. People are just chiming in. And it's all digital. It's not seeing many faces here, yours, but it's only on the screen. Although I do see two of them. I got the Instagram and
you got
and the regular and the other one. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So and it's a nice little stand-in for actual human contact.
It is. No, it definitely is. It's the bright shot. It is the bright spot of my workday pretty much every time we do
that's
these.
good.
So
very nice.
Mandy says I've never had an opportunity to tune in. What a treat. Welcome, Mandy.
Yes. Love that. I love when people who don't have the opportunity to come in do because it's a good time.
And we should say, if you're on Instagram right now, head over to YouTube. That's where all the magic happens.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to pin that. Yeah. Again, get off of Instagram. Get over to YouTube. It's better. It's where the real show is.
We haven't plugged in a while is the Discord.
Yeah.
NobodyAthlete.com/Discord.
Yep.
That's where the true magic happens. Because let's face it, this is just all smoke and mirror. The magic happens in the Discord.
Yeah, the actual content we provide is content you all provide in user-generated content in Discord. People yesterday, I think it was the same Beth who's doing a 250-mile race. Said that she was intrigued by this 30-day digital declutter I'm doing. Was it her? It was the same person?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to people responding to you.
Yeah, it doesn't matter that much whether it was the same person or not, but I think it was. And she's doing a 250-mile race, begins Sunday. She shared her food, 14,000 calories for a week of food. Is that her only food? 14,000 doesn't seem like enough. I think if she said 5 days,
my guess is there has to be is it a stage race? Is that what she said?
Yeah, 5-day stage.
And then there's probably dinners and stuff supplied, but this is all of her running fuel.
Okay.
That's a guess. Sense.
That sounds like the right amount of calories then.
Mm-hmm.
Good. All right. And then there's another Jeff. Who's this Jeff saying here? Good to be able to join live. Because I guess Jeff Hudnall has no photo. Yeah.
Jeff Hudnall. It's not Mr. Jeffrey.
Lots of Jeffs. So many Jeffs. Yeah, I conflate the Jeffs for sure in my head. So,
hey, shout out to Mandy. She's the one who wrote the Salute Your Shorts parody song.
Wow.
We just talked about that the other day. So
I mean, that's a legendary moment in the show. I cite that all the time. It's that was our high point. We had people writing songs for the show. And I mean, it is. That was the pinnacle. So wow. So way to go. Congratulations. Thank you, Mandy.
Virtual flesh.
Feel free to write any new songs. We can air them. Doug could get his ukulele out and he could work on it a little while.
If someone writes a good song, I will sing it with the ukulele. I'm committing to that. If it's a good morning report song or weather report song, then then it can just play over and over and over again. Steven is here. Jessica Goodenough's here.
Steven's joining from the trail, so I guess he's running and listening, maybe
out running.
When I was typing too. Yeah,
keep it up. Run! You got this. Yeah,
very good. All right, so with that, let's jump into our weather report. We should have music back today.
All right.
God willing, although I think I just hit the Law and Order theme accidentally. Okay, here we go.
Yes. So Ellery didn't steal your machine for good?
Well, she did. It was in her room is where it was hidden. She had to find it for me. Out of power, of course, so I had to revamp. But anyway, here we go. June 14th, weather report, plant-based morning show. A lot of news today, just like yesterday. Yesterday we had a bunch of fake meat news. Today we've got a lot more just common food news. I think that is good. No legal mumbo jumbo here. Nestle has announced the official relaunch of a limited edition of KitKat Plant-Based in Australia. We know about KitKat Vegan or KitKat V, I guess it's called in Europe. I've had a bunch of those when I was in Germany. This thing went away in Australia, but now it's come back due to popular demand online, extraordinary demand online, they're saying. And it'll be available at Coles stores. That is COLE, not the Coles that you and I know, Doug. Not the big box, whatever Coles' positioning is. What is Coles? It's like,
no idea.
It's like Target, but more like Marshall's.
Home Goods. Yeah. Somewhere, something around. I have no idea. I don't know if I've ever been in Coles. I'm surprised
Coles exists with that vague, hole they fill. But anyway, so this is coming back.
But you won't find these KitKat plant-based bars there. No, that's a different Coles.
Different Coles. Yeah. I meant to tell you that I had the Reese's peanut butter cup vegan thing. We got a few of them. I forget who gave them to us. Somebody did. But I had one, I think it was Sunday night. No, maybe Monday night when I got home from this trip. And I found it to be pretty good. I thought it was just as good as the original was for me. I will say the chocolate taste was less rich. And I think that's why I actually liked it just as good, maybe better. Because I don't really like super rich chocolate. That's why I'm not that big of a chocolate fan anymore. I found it to be great. I would totally eat more of those every now and then.
Hey, that's awesome. I saw some in CVS, but I was like running out. I was in a hurry. I didn't grab one. So they have them now at just your everyday CVS.
Okay,
so that's
readily available. Yeah, worth a try for sure. All right, next up, of interest to you, Doug. Just Egg has announced it's now available in thousands more stores across the United States. This is from Plant-Based News. Not totally clear which 1,000 stores are new, but Walmart has 1,000 more stores than it did at some point carrying the product, as well as another 1,000 stocking Just Egg Folded, which is that ready-made kind of, I don't know what you call that, a patty thing that you put on a sandwich or something. Kroger has also launched that product in 800 stores in May. Plant-Based brand has also expanded to 1,500 food service locations in North America. This is the Barnes & Noble vegan breakfast sandwich, which I looked for but couldn't find. And 7-Eleven Canada's got it. Proper Food, Next Level Burger, and Collectivo Coffee all have this Just Egg. Just Egg seems to be one of the bright spots right now for plant-based foods. You keep hearing about that expanding and used in new places, while the plant-based meats, burgers, just keep going out of business.
I think it has taken over the top spot, the number one spot for the what the Hay household eats from these kind of artificial.
Oh yeah, Just Egg is it, huh?
Meats and eggs and all that stuff. Yeah.
Always the pourable liquid one, or the
pourable liquid? The folded one is so expensive. It's like I don't know. It's way too expensive, in my opinion.
So much better value just to make your own pour and then fold your own. Okay. Good. And what about oat milk? I mean, Oatly. I guess this isn't the Hay household. I think of Oatly as like another, much as I hate to say it, another one of the shining,
the bright spots.
Yeah. It feels like they're successful and they're just keep expanding. And recently we've seen the soft serve ice cream showing up in different places. I think Stevens shared a photo from Germany that someone else had shared. So that's happening. That's good. But they're Oatly and Just Egg seem to be the winners right now.
Yeah.
But that's until you hear about
no weird commercials from Just Egg either.
Yeah, right. It's all you could want. Plus, they got a cultivated meat, branch of their company that's kind of
that's
making the moves. So good company there. All right. Here's the big one though. This could be the new number one, new challenger for number one. Dr. Praeger's, makers of everyone's veggie burgers that they don't actually buy, those kinds that they look a little too healthy, and they are too healthy to really be good. They're just like I don't know. They're like old school veggie burgers, veggie patties. I think they make a more high tech one now. But anyway, they've launched a line of veggie fries to capitalize on the universal love of fries, coupled with general lack of vegetables in the U.S. diet. They claim that they're the only frozen fries that contain a full serving of vegetables. They debut in 2 flavors. That's California veggie fries and cauliflower broccoli veggie fries, and are kosher, certified vegan, certified gluten-free, and non-GMO product verified. You can get them at Target, Giant, Hannaford, Albertsons, and Giant Eagle. Doug, will that be replacing tater tots in your household?
I don't know. I'm not going to go that far, but I am going to try these for sure. If I find them, I'm going to get them. They sound pretty good, and I bet my kids would be all into it for sure.
Yeah, I looked up the ingredients, or just looked at the product itself on Dr. Praeger's website. The ones I looked at, the California veggie fries, they don't have any potato in them. So this isn't like a potato and then they blend with some, mash it all up. Not that you could easily blend potato with vegetables unless you mashed it up and then reformed it. But anyway, it's no potato. Carrots, peas, green beans, broccoli, oat bran, canola oil, cooked quinoa, onion, zucchini, corn, spinach, and then a bunch of, there's potato flakes. So I was wrong about that. But there are a whole lot more other vegetables before the potatoes.
Okay. And then they just kind of bind them together and fry them. And
yeah. And they had the look. They have a lot of crispy coating on the outside. You can still see some vegetables through there. But it's definitely a fried product. But at least it's packing in those vegetables. And I don't know. It kind of looks like the other Dr. Praeger products, really. So I have a feeling it'll taste a lot like those, but just in fry form. And maybe if you dip in a little ketchup, you know, it wouldn't seem much worse than regular fries. So I'll be curious to give these a go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Hey, you skipped Tyson Foods. That's a big one.
Oh, I did skip that. Didn't mean to skip that. Thank you. All right. Next up, Tyson Foods has quietly launched plant-based chicken nuggets bearing their name and logo on the packaging for the first time. This isn't the first time they've had plant-based nuggets and things like that. We've known for a while that they've heavily invested in a lot of these animal agriculture companies are investing in plant-based alternatives. Tyson's line was called Raised and Rooted. So they weren't really advertising that it was them doing it, which you can imagine why they would strategically not want to be seen as embracing that. But anyway, they're now putting their logo right on there. It seems like it's roughly the same product. They've got a couple different flavors. Where are those flavors?
Spicy.
Regular and spicy. Yeah, just like the Raised and Rooted line had. So I don't know what they're made of. Probably pea protein, like most of the other ones. This is okay. I don't know. Significant, I guess, when it's all doom and gloom.
I think this is big. Obviously, I'm not a fan of Tyson as for many reasons, but as a former Harrisonburg resident like yourself, with the Rockingham County being the poultry capital of the East or the world or something, I don't know. There were a lot of Tyson chicken farms down there, and it was just bad news. Anyway,
a lot of smells. Often the town smelled often like that.
Yes,
like
that's right.
Animal waste or something.
Yeah, it would like happen every week or something like that. I don't know what day where they dumped everything out. It's awful. But anyway, I think this is big because that means they're not really hiding from it anymore. They think that some people will be attracted to the familiar name, and just be, excited about kind of getting probably a quote unquote healthier option, from a brand that they've heard of before, and not some like crazy liberal hippie brand,
Right. Woke brand. Yeah.
I don't know. Has Tyson gone woke?
That's what I was going to say. There's this risk of backlash because we saw it with Cracker Barrel when they had Impossible sausage on the menu. It happened to Chick-fil-A when they put the cauliflower burger on the menu, just the test menu. So I don't know. I mean, they must have considered that sort of thing, and that was probably the reason they weren't doing it before. The fear of just what would their loyal people say. So I don't know. It is significant. Maybe a little bit of a turning point that suddenly it's okay to do this. So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I'm glad they're doing it.
Yeah.
And finally, this one came as I must say, this is Kingdom's good news to me. Instant Pot's once grand claims of taking over your kitchen came out underdone, says Morning Brew. And the parent company, Instant Brands, has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy to get its battered finances in order. So that doesn't mean that they're done. They're just filed for bankruptcy. And I think that might be the same as Meatless Farms, who we talked about yesterday, who also filed for bankruptcy. So maybe bankruptcy doesn't mean you're done. You're just kind of reorganizing. I shouldn't say that I'm happy about this. I'm never happy about a company to go under unless it's one that I truly dislike. I like the mission of Instant Pot. I've never, ever had success. But people loved it so much, I never just felt like an outsider. I didn't understand what I was doing wrong to not get my Instant Pot to work. People would tell me ways I should be doing it instead. And no matter what I tried, never got the Instant Pot to work. So I'm not actually happy they're done, but not looking good.
This feels like a mismanagement or something. I mean, like that they did something wrong. I was watching the Morning Brew little clip about this, and they were saying that you only need to buy one, and so you eventually run out of customers. But the same could be said about a Vitamix. Same could be said about so many different things.
Right.
Kitchen appliances. It had such a cult following, and it was such a big thing that everyone was talking about a couple years ago. It seems like this is just kind of they messed up somehow.
Yeah. They should have required a subscription. So in order to get it to work beyond like the first 3 months, you have to subscribe.
That's right.
And then they pipe in like the recipe service or whatever.
Or they could have done like an Instapalooza or something like that to ramp up some revenue or some.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Or they could send out like, I don't know, meals by subscription form or something. Anyway, apparently what seemed to make it go bad was in 2019, Cornell Capital, a private equity firm, bought Instant Pot, and then hungry for expansion, they tried to release new gadgets like air fryers and an air purifier even. So I think that means not even in the food realm, just purifying air, which seems like a stretch to me for Instant Pot. Those didn't do well. So I don't know. That strategy I think worked for Ninja, right? The company that made used to be just little like Blendtec Vitamix knockoff, and then suddenly they're making air fryers and all this other stuff. And I think that has succeeded, but not so for Instant Pot.
What's the company that makes like fans and like vacuum cleaners? Starts with a D, I think.
Dyson.
Yeah. They and then air purifiers. They like do anything with like an engine. It's just all this random stuff, but like their specialty is engines or whatever.
Yeah, that fits a theme still somehow. Like you see those bathroom hand dryers that are like sleek design. They seem like the Dyson vacuums, but yeah, Instant Pot going into air purification, that seems weird to me.
Yeah, it does seem weird.
And then finally, last thing here, Morning Brew speculates that they said, who's next? Air fryers could be the next kitchen disruptor to stall out. Based on
I don't know. I'm just now jumping on the air fryer train.
I know. You might get in. And
I know. I'm hoping to get in the next couple of days.
Well, you got to find one that offers a subscription service that you have to subscribe to.
Yeah, there you go.
That way it'll stay in business. But I guess it doesn't matter. You can buy one of these, and then it doesn't matter if it goes out of business as long as you're happy with it. And
as long as
you don't need a new one.
Yeah. I don't know. One of the ones that I sent Katie was an Instant Pot one recommended by through the Discord. So we'll see. We'll see. I might get the last one.
Maybe. I told the air fryer news to Erin, and she was upset. And I said, "What do you mean? It's a toaster. It's the same thing. It's not any different. You just turn the toaster up to the maximum heat, and you have an air fryer essentially." She did not agree, but that was my hot take.
Okay, so she didn't agree. That was that. Yeah, because I've heard you say that a few times.
I still think it's the same. It's high temperature and convection. If you have those things in your oven, you have an air fryer.
I don't have a convection oven. Well, I guess my main oven might be, but like,
yeah, get a basket and you then have an air fryer.
We'll see about that. Hey, all right. So that's the end of the weather report, right?
Yep, that's it.
Okay, a couple comments. Lucy B asks, "Wait, there's a way to buy Dust Egg, not in a. You're out of control with that thing, man. Not in a pourable bottle. And yeah, there's like folded, pre-made folded ones. You just throw them in the toaster or the microwave or something like that.
Wait, what's this about? This is Just Egg?
Yeah, Just Egg. Let's see. There was another one. The company wants to make. This is about Tyson. The company wants to make money. If it doesn't hurt the animals or the planet, even better. But profit is their motivator. Absolutely, that's of course the case.
Yeah, it is. But you know what? I don't care about that. I really think like it's that invisible hand, right? That I think Adam Smith, right, old classic economics guy, said that in the quest to get profit, you end up creating a lot of value. And if that's what's happening, and then it's a race to see who can do it the most, and the animals get saved, fantastic. I don't care what their motivation is.
Yeah.
Jessica Goodenough says we're certified business coaches. Add that to our list of credentials.
We're not certified business coaches. We are not certified business coaches. And Matt, you actually said that you were a certified financial advisor yesterday.
I don't feel like I can get sued for that. I feel like if I say I'm a doctor, I think that I could actually get in real trouble for. Somehow, eventually, there's got to be some line where who cares if you're certified or not? It's just a made up certification someone invented.
The financial advice though thing is like everyone on YouTube has to disclaim that they're not financial advisors.
But I don't give personal financial advice. I was just giving it to companies. I'm more like
that's right.
Company like Jessica, the business coach.
Yeah, business coach. Yeah, that's fine. You can be a business coach. You are kind of a business coach. Some love for Dyson. All right. Okay. We have team toaster. Mandy's on team toaster. But Suzanne is team air fryer. So
okay. And Mr. Jeffrey too, who's a trained chef, or at least an experienced chef, says he thought that too, but then he got the air fryer and saw the errors of his ways.
There you go.
Yeah, I have one too. I don't know. Maybe just because it looks like a toaster. I need a side-by-side comparison.
Okay.
It does not change my food life, that's for sure.
Do you have one with like the basket thing, or do you have one that looks like a toaster?
It looks like a toaster. It has basket things we can put in when we air fry.
Got it.
But otherwise, it's a toaster.
Got it.
All right. So that's your weather report. I guess we're going to do our topic here, Doug, which there wasn't one today. But what there is a follow-up of my my digital detox and there's your little insightful question you've asked in addition to it. So I'll tell you what happened yesterday, then we'll go into that.
Okay, let's hear it.
Everything was good. I honestly already felt like I just had more time, just with the cracks not being filled in with, checking email with phone. That for me is a big one. I got rid of the Gmail app on my phone, and I'm not really an email person. I don't spend much time responding to emails. You know that, Doug. But I certainly spend a lot of time checking them. So I'll just sit there on the couch if nothing else to do.
Do you spend time thinking about what you would respond with?
No, I don't even do that.
Okay.
I'm just checking for things. If I'm waiting for news about something, I'll just keep swiping it every 10 minutes or something. And then an hour later, I've checked it 6 times. So got rid of that. There's a lot of just reaching for the phone, and then I pick it up and like, what am I doing? Like, well, there's nothing for me to do here. I don't know why I reach for that. But I guess before, when I would do that, I would then maybe go on the internet and look up something. I don't know. I have no idea. So the instances where I would say just, I don't know what the word is, made aware of my digital habits during my workout. It occurred to me that on my computer, I have a tab, like a saved Safari tab, where my workout is. It's on a spreadsheet. I put it on there, and I just never bothered to print it out because who prints things out anymore? So every time I do my workout, I get the computer, bring it into the garage, open it up, and just have this thing in front of me. And then during breaks between sets, I'll go and do, sometimes computer work. Sometimes that's actually when I edit this show and send it out and all that. So I might still do that stuff. But I realized it's just silly that I would go get this computer every single time, 4 times a week for the past 16 weeks now, instead of just one time printing out the workout sheet and just having that in the garage. So I did that. So I printed it out, and it's just interesting, right? It's just another way the screen has entered my life, and now in that way it doesn't. So that was a little one. Compliment, what's the name of the product? Omega Complex has been out of stock for a while. I asked you yesterday, when's it coming back? You said July. So I said, I got to go buy more of DHA EPA, unfortunately from a different company. So I had to do some research to find out which one. So that took 30 minutes of cruising around Amazon, looking at different things. And I don't know, is that like an optional technology? This using the internet to find things? There's no other way for me to go do research on DHA EPA supplements.
No, I don't think that counts.
So that's totally fine. So as much as you want.
Well, I mean, within reason, right? I mean, as long as you have if you're trying to shop, basically, right, and achieve something, if you have something you have to work towards, then technology, because technology isn't evil, right? I mean, it can be, but it also kind of allows you to do things you couldn't do otherwise, or save a lot of time going to a store and looking at, going to multiple stores and looking stuff up and that kind of thing. So in my opinion, that doesn't count. Now, if you then went down a rabbit hole about how hamsters dig holes in their cages or whatever, then that would be like a different thing. That would be that probably wouldn't count.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think that's right. So then, similar to that, when I did begin to go down a rabbit hole, is YouTube. I went on YouTube to look up videos of people using this new soccer training tool that my son got, Holden got. It's these little pods that light up randomly. They're called Blaze pods, and they light up in different spots, and that tells you what you need to do. So it trains you to react faster to things. So I looked that up, and I was thinking, I don't know, is this okay? Am I allowed to go on YouTube and look up examples of people using something to try to find stuff? And I said, yeah, that's probably fine. But then I didn't realize YouTube suggested to me that I watch Ed Sheeran on the Howard Stern show with his guitar, demonstrating how he convinced the jury that he didn't actually steal that song from Marvin Gaye. And so I clicked on that because I can't not click on that. And I started watching that. And then Holden came over and said, aren't you supposed to be on a digital detox? And I said, oh, that's right, I am. So I turned that off.
Okay, so that's a better example than the hamster one that I came up with of what you shouldn't be doing.
Right. But so I realized also that's exactly the issue with a lot of these things, right? You go on there for something and then you end up doing something else. And that happened with me with my phone as well. I went on there to check the time or something, saw a text message from someone because I had turned the alerts off. And then I never actually never looked at the time. So I had to pick it up 5 minutes later to actually see the time because I went down some little texting, rabbit hole. So it's interesting. Just the added awareness is a cool thing. And the last thing is I did play the piano yesterday because in the nighttime when we got home from eating dinner and being out at soccer, that's the time I just put on the TV and just watch The Office or whatever there is. And so I read for a little while, and then I just like was kind of tired, but also kind of like felt like I needed some entertainment or stimulation or something. And so then I played the piano for a little while, and I almost did Simply Piano, the app, but I thought maybe I shouldn't do that. So I don't know about that. It's like these super engaging apps that pull you in and do the exact stuff that these, maybe less well-intended apps do to keep you learning, like Duolingo, a good example for language learning. Is that okay? Or am I trying to get myself free of all like hooks and addiction sort of feelings? And I think I am, even when they advance or further my hobbies I'm trying to cultivate.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one, right? Because like, what if Duolingo is, and I don't know that Duolingo is really the best way to learn a language, but
No,
but maybe what if it is more effective than just doing flashcards on your own? Like what if you're going to learn more and become advanced quicker because of this? If even take out all the gamification of it, take out all the like addicting little coins and diamond things that you get, and like, what if it's just a better tool? I mean, is it bad just because it's better, just because it has some of that stuff? Like, is it better, or is it better to use the better tool?
Yeah,
it's going to actually teach you and advance you quicker. I would argue that it is. Just you have to put some sort of parameters in place on how to use it.
I think that's right, and I wouldn't ever say I should give up these things forever. What's interesting to me is like the Simply Piano specifically, and so would Duolingo fall into this category. They're like the easiest on-ramps to begin that learning again.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I haven't touched the piano in a long time. So the easiest thing I could do is pick up Simply Piano rather than going into a piano book, which I have and could do. Like that takes a lot more work and mental power to like do that. Whereas Simply Piano is just going to pull me in, start really easy, and like soon enough I'll be playing again. So it just feels weird to not use that. But then like that kind of is the point. The point is do things that take some mental, fortitude to like begin, like before you start to feel the rewards, because that's what good hobbies and good leisure are, is doing those kind of activities instead of just the stuff that like you just let it happen to you because it's easy. So I still don't know quite what the thing is. I didn't end up doing it last night, but I don't know. I may end up allowing myself to use those things, but I don't know. We'll see.
What if you did like 2 weeks or something? I don't know. If you did 2 weeks cold turkey everything, and then kind of brought some of that stuff back in.
Yeah, I think that is a large part of the point of this detox, is like to feel the cold turkey shock of almost zero technology, which is not going to happen because my workday's filled with it. But I don't know. I think that is the right thing. I think spend some time without any of it, or just little as possible, and then from there add things back.
Yeah.
So anyway, this relates sort of to the question that you asked, which is, well, I'll let you explain it.
Yeah. So this is just something I've been thinking about, and would love to know your strategy here, and also anyone else listening. I don't know that there's a perfect answer for this, but there's a lot of things that I've been wanting to kind of get to either pick up or try for the very first time, or like engage with a little bit more. Golf is a perfect example. I played on last Friday, had a great time. I'd love to play more. It's very time consuming, and it can be expensive, but you can also walk 9 or whatever. But even that takes 2 hours at least. And pickleball is something else. Woodworking, I was very into a couple of years ago, but I've pretty much gotten out of. And so there's like all these things that I like want to try and I want to, spend time on, but with limited free time, I just kind of default to the things that I know are going to give me joy and that are also contributing to my health and also a lot of fun, like running or biking or mountain biking and these other, these kind of hobbies that I've been doing for a very long time. So I guess what I've been wrestling with is how do you go about introducing or trying something new or kind of getting involved in another hobby while not neglecting the stuff that you also really like doing, if that makes any sense. I don't know if I'm asking that probably.
So is that your problem, is that you think if you did these other things, you would neglect the thing that you like? Or is it that it's just easier to do running because it's a known thing and it's not really any mental strain to go running because you've done it a billion times and it's just kind of a known?
I would say it's a little bit of both, right? So it's just so much easier for me to go running. If I have an hour, if I have 90 minutes and, there's the default is going to be, I'm going to go for a run. And I'd much rather do that than sit around and read a book or something like that. I mean, it's just kind of like what I've programmed myself to do. It's very easy. I love it. It's always enjoyable. And on top of that, though, I mean, I do have some pretty serious running goals throughout the rest of the year. A couple of big races later in the year. So I want to maintain. I don't want to just like stop running, completely give it up, so that I can start playing golf, because I think that would kind of hurt some of my other goals. So I want to keep running, but I also want to bring in this other stuff. And like I'm struggling with how to kind of get excited about the other stuff if I know that I'm also not going to be able to commit to it like every day or anything like that.
Yeah. I mean, that is really hard, that last part to me. Like if I can't, and that's why I probably only do one thing at a time typically, because it's if I can't do it every day, I'm going to not feel like it's worth it. Like I'm just not going to get anywhere fast enough to feel like this is really important, and then I'll stop doing it. I think a lot of it, because I thought about this for a few minutes after you said it to me. I think a lot of it is like, what are you trying to get? Like, what's your goal here with the time that you're spending? One of the books that motivated this kind of thinking for me was, I read Flow a long time ago, and the author's name, by the way, is Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. I'm mispronouncing that, I'm sure, but the book's called Flow, and if you look for that kind of name, you'll see it. He had like a follow-up book about entering the flow state more often or something, and that was one of the big reasons of like doing these kind of things, these hobbies that are challenging, where you exhibit, there's a high level of challenge, and you're exhibiting a high level of skill, and something that just to you is perceived as a high level of skill. So with me, I'm not a good piano player, but after a month of playing, I will feel that I'm like kind of skillful now compared to what I was before. And it's also challenging. So you can enter that flow state. And this flow state is, I think people understand what that is. It's just sort of this universal thing that happens in sports and art and writing and sometimes just driving. It can happen lots of times. But there's not really a recipe for making it happen. But people view it as like a really important state. And if you can be in it, it's like a fulfilling, your well-being is high, the more you can be in it. So if that's the thing you want to get into, like that's one way you can measure the value of these different activities. Like, do you find yourself achieving that often in running because it's challenging and you have a high level of skill at it, and maybe your brain is used to the pathway to going into that sort of bliss state while you're running? If that's the case, then I would say there's not a whole lot of need to do other things, unless you've got some other goals that aren't just experience the flow state as often as I can.
Yeah. Well, and so just to comment on that, like I think that is the case with running, right? I mean, I can so easily drop into a place where I'm just really enjoying myself, and then feel good for the rest of the day. And it's easy and, comfortable. But at the same time, like I got a friend who recently has like gone all in on pickleball, and it just kind of gets me a little excited about it. Like I'd love to kind of play with him and experience that and see what it's all about. But is going out there one day and kind of struggling my way through it, it'd probably be fun. But, is that really going to be something that I now start picking up all the time? And then I don't know. It's just,
yeah. Right. And so that's the problem, is if you do what I just said and you just keep experiencing the flow state with running, there are probably better, more exciting things to be experienced by doing something new, right? Than you're going to get with running right now, unless running is just your craft and that's your thing. And like, you are always discovering new things about it, and you're always pushing yourself to find new challenges, and like it's constantly providing that source of new input for you. But I think, finding a new hobby and being excited about that thing, like 3 weeks into it or a couple months into it, like that's one of the best feelings that I think you can have. Like that's when you're just like, that's all you can think about. You're going to bed thinking about it. You're reading books about it. You're just all into this thing. That's great. So I'd hate to rob yourself of that by saying I'm just going to keep doing this running thing. And then when you look at it that way, running starts to look like, and this is going to the extreme. It's not obviously this, but like it looks more like when I tell Holden, hey, like go read a book or something, do something different instead of just flipping through Instagram. And he's like, but I don't want to go read a book. Like I don't like this. I don't like trying to learn the piano or play the drums. Like that's work. This is just fun for me right now to flip through this thing. And it's simple, right? So like I said, that's not what your running is. It has lots and lots of benefits that
running is my Instagram.
Yeah. But it is the thing that requires you not to, like you said, there's no real mental challenge to doing it. There are for a lot of people, but for you, because you've done it so much, there's not really any sort of mental thing to get over. And that is an important, I think, hallmark of like these high quality activities, is that there is some little bit of delay before the reward kicks in. Like you have to sort of get to the reward point. If the reward is just instant right away, like often that's the sort of dopamine activity that just, you don't have to earn that reward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's interesting.
So anyway, I don't know the answer, but Anne-Marie has pointed out, she said, this is why I stopped playing tennis. And this is a little different than our concerns, but it's another one. It takes so much time to be good, and I have so many other exercise interests. So I guess in this example, if you thought running took so much time, you'd stop doing running and just do these other exercise interests. But
I mean, like why really get involved in woodworking when I know I'm not going to ever be like a super skilled woodworker?
Right. So why even try something new? Yeah. Right. Why get into something new? Yeah. I mean, I definitely struggle with that a lot. Like that's whenever I think about something that I might get into, and like not woodworking specifically, but like finding a craft, something that you make in the real world, and it could be cooking and things which I already do, but like something where you make and like physically do stuff and create stuff. Like that's also mentioned in several of these books is like a hobby worth having. And I've thought about that, but always I go to, but I'm 42. Like how good can I really possibly get before I'm 70? Not that being 70 is a problem. You can still be 70 and then have a great skill. But for some reason, like to imagine, I don't know. I guess when you imagine it mastering something at a young enough age, like that can be your living. That could be sort of the thing that you just defines you as like you were an amazing person at this. It's hard to imagine picking up something at age 42 and it becoming that. So it's sort of the thing. It just seems like it would take so long to really get good at something.
Yeah. Mr. Jeffrey says one thing that helped me along those same lines. One thing that helped me was I accepted that I wasn't ever going to be great at the activity. For me, it's rock climbing. I love it, but I'm never going to be amazing at it because I don't have the time. And you just accept that and continue to enjoy it. Which, I mean, there's a lot of value in that too. I mean, just an activity because it's fun, not because you're going to be great at it.
This is why I don't play chess, by the way. Exactly this. It's like, I'm not going to be a world-class chess player. So like, why am I going to do that? But the reason is it's fun, right?
Yeah, it's fun. Right. Mandy says I should combine it like the ski and archery sport in the Olympics. You run to golf tee, then run. I've done that with disc golf. I've played like speed disc golf, and Carl Meltzer, the guy who's run more 100-milers or maybe one more 100-milers than anybody else.
I know the name.
He at least for a while held the speed record of like 18 holes of golf. And there's some speed golf thing where like people try to play as quickly as they can.
With a cart or no cart?
No cart. I mean, you're carrying, I think, a minimal bag and or a couple different clubs, and then just kind of running up to the ball as quickly as you can.
Interesting. What does that have to do with anything? Oh, just because it's related to the
golf run. Idea of combining activities.
Gotcha. Okay. I have no interest in combining activities like that.
Jacob says maybe the answer is the different seasons in life. We've talked a lot about that on the Anime Radio before.
Yep.
Running can take a back seat.
For sure.
Come back eventually. Yeah, definitely agree with that.
Probably
for
is
sure.
the answer, actually. I think that's probably the one that I would say. That's the one. Like you do your thing that you really want to do for a while, and then when space allows, time allows, when you just get really motivated about something, you don't have to let yourself do it. You'll just be pulled to do it because you're that excited about it.
The thing is, I'm really excited about everything right now. I mean, I'm really excited about running right now. I feel like I've got my mojo back with running and training, and I want to keep doing it. But I also am just being pulled in these kind of other directions as well. So, got to figure.
You got to ditch the family, I guess.
That could be a good option.
You can go out on your own, get your own place, build your own log cabin or something.
Yep.
And just do whatever you want.
Just forget about all my responsibilities. Or Matt, I could ditch the work.
You could. Yeah. Exactly.
Make good podcast content. So we good with this? If I just stick to an hour a day on the morning show,
that'd be good. We gotta get the numbers up, I think, before we can justify that.
Okay.
All right. Steven says, "When are you coming to Europe?" I'm not sure why he's asking that. Maybe he thinks that would be a good activity for you to do.
I don't know. Hopefully soon. It's been a while, like 8 years or something since I've been over there. So hopefully soon.
Okay. Good. Yeah. So no answer. Shockingly, we did not arrive at an answer to this one of life's great puzzles, but that's okay.
This might make somebody suggested it'd be good MMA radio topic. It might make a good MMA radio topic. Maybe something we even do this week because we're going to try to record one on Friday.
Yeah, Friday instead of this show, we're going to do MMA radio, so it'll probably be roughly the same time. So you can still have this experience of the show. It'll just be us also getting the No Meat Athlete radio done. So that's good. There was one thing that was earlier. Oh, I should have brought this up before, of course, but Mr. Jeffrey I thought was a good app question. When I was talking about the Simply Piano app, he said, I think using it's totally fine as long as you aren't mindlessly opening them, sit down, intentionally spend however long with that app. That was kind of my rule for the Anki thing, the flashcard thing. I said, I can do that if I'm trying to study language now and that's what I'm doing, then it's okay for me to say that's the right tool to use that right now. But it's not the right thing to do when I'm, at soccer practice or whatever, and I'm just in between conversations or whatever, open that thing up. That's not really what I want to be doing. But I think what I like about this comment is the thing about Duolingo or Simply Piano that is potentially dangerous, I guess, in the same way that these other apps are much more dangerous, is that they suck you in and you don't realize how long you end up doing it. And so not that playing piano for a long time would be a bad thing because the app pulled you into it. But I think in general, the point of this challenge is get yourself removed from things where you are being pulled along and nudged the way the app wants you to go. So if you say, I'm doing this thing for this much time and then I'm stopping it, you kind of prevent that from happening. If you actually follow the rules and stop when you say you're going to stop ahead of time. Again, not that it would be that bad to practice extra, but just to get yourself in the practice of not doing what the app wants you to do. I think that's a pretty good idea. To say, I'm going to do this for half an hour or 15 minutes, and then I'm going to switch to the book or whatever.
Mm-hmm. He says, set a timer, and that's exactly what you're saying. Yeah.
Maybe that's right. All right. And Mandy says Disneyland Paris vegan meals are excellent. That was my experience with Disney World. Is that I wouldn't say they were excellent food. It was very good, but they just had an option at just about every place, and that was a surprise to me. So, way to go, Disney. Doug, are you on Disney or DeSantis side of the Florida?
I'm definitely on the Disney side of.
Okay, you can take it. You can take that side as a politician. You're all right with endorsing Disney.
I'm 100%. Yeah.
Okay. Good. All right. Does that mean Disney's on Trump's side then? If they're opposed to DeSantis?
No.
Is that a pro-Trump organization?
I don't think that. I don't think anti DeSantis equals pro-Trump.
Okay. All right.
But I don't know. I mean,
to the outsider, to me, that's what it looks like. All right. Well, this was fun. Thanks for coming, everyone. Went a little over today, but that's all right. Anne-Marie says Doug always blushes when Matt talks politics. That's right. You do, Doug. You seem like I think you're worried about getting in hot water, and you got to come up with just the right response.
It's just the I think it's the overlap between the two that, if I'm talking politics and I'm on I've got my councilman hat on, I'm there's no blushing going on. It's just this kind of overlap that makes me uncomfortable for some reason. But I'm okay with it. Good. Not uncomfortable in a bad way. It's good. It's pushing it. Yeah.
That's right. All right, good. Well, thanks everyone. Very lively discussion today. I appreciate that. And glad people liked our discussion. We'll be back tomorrow for one more of these shows. And then it seems like we're going to be back Friday for No Meat Athlete Radio. So that's it. We'll see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern time. And in the Discord. Until then, nomeatathlete.com/Discord if you want to join the fun over there.
Absolutely. All right.
Okay. That's
Thanks,
it.
everybody.
Talk to you tomorrow.